Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. The VA is looking to eliminate around 83,000 employees this year. Currently, we have around 470, I don't know, in the 470s, 470, whatever, 7,000. So that would drop us less than 400,000 employee count. There's two things just from the surface here. Look, I'm not running the VA. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know where all their employees are. I'm just, veteran Joe here who is looking to utilize either the VHA for, medical care or the VBA. And in both of those situations, there's either a backlog in claims or I try to get an appointment and it takes months. So laying people off in either one of those atmospheres, I would think, I could be wrong, is either going to increase backlog on the VBA side or it's going to increase wait times, I would think, with the amount that we're talking about here of 83,000. These small numbers of 1,000, 1,400, that type of stuff, I mean, that's less than 0.5% of the entire workforce. 83,000 though, however, that's a big number. So let's jump into it. There is a article here that I'm going to go through on govx.com. Before we jump into it, I want to throw on a special thank you to Maferr, Maferr, 6404. Thank you so much for that super comment, super chat. Thanks. I appreciate you very much. Maferr, 6404. All right, so the headline, VA plans to lay off as many as 83,000 employees this year. And this goes on to say that there was a leaked memo released Tuesday, and I believe Tuesday was, the 3rd of March, 2025? Tuesday. Called for VA to slash its workforce to 2019 levels that were in place before millions of veterans became newly eligible for care. And look, when they're talking about newly eligible veterans for care, what they're really focused on there in that statement, in my opinion, is the VHA. So, yes, the PACT Act opened up, more people filed claims. A lot of those people already had claims. It just opened the door for other things to claim through presumptive, which was just an easier facet. But what they also did was they opened the doorway to VHA healthcare. So they opened that door and really allowed, which I believe, look, if you're a veteran, you should be able to utilize the VA for care. But there's different ways to get into VHA healthcare, and the most common way was that folks were service connected for something, and that opened up the doorway to VA healthcare. But they opened up the door, and that allowed, 1 million people more to be eligible. That caused, an uptick in services requested. So let's go through this, see what we can turn over here, see what we can find, and go from there. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. The two ask, hit the thumbs up, let the video run. Thank you very much. Thank you to all you members. I do my best to get back to you in the comments. Sometimes it takes me a few days, but I do really try to hit everybody back in the comments. Thank you. All right. The Veterans Affairs Department is planning to lay off tens of thousands of employees throughout its organization later this year, according to an internal memorandum distributed to top staff on Tuesday. VA will soon kick off a department-wide review of its mission, organization, and structure, according to the memo, which was obtained by GovX, or Government Executive. It will work in partnership with the Department of Government Efficiency to create a workforce optimization plan. VA Chief of Staff Christopher, Cyrick, said in the document. Cyrick said VA will move aggressively to implement its plans to reduce management and bureaucracy, cut the department's footprint, and increase workforce efficiency. It all sounds good. Scary though, right? That sounds good. I would love that. I would love to increase workforce efficiency, and that's great. Thank you. It's just a scary move. Just saying, 83,000 is a big number, and I'm hoping that we don't have a negative ripple effect. The forthcoming reductions in force, Cyrick said will resize and tailor the workforce to the mission and revised structure. Again, look, I don't work at the VA. I don't know how many people they have, counting baskets over here and how many people are restacking wood over here and how many people are serving veterans over here. I don't know. So, but again, 83,000 is a big number. All right. The memo follows 2 executive orders President Trump issued calling for agencies to reshape their workforces and develop a RIF, reduction in force, and reorganization plans. VA has largely exempted its workforce. They exempted, I want to say 300,000-ish from any sort of reductions. So VA has largely exempted its workforce from the government-wide hiring freeze and fired a relatively small portion of its probationary employees, leaving some question as to whether the department would have to lay off employees at all. VA staffed up significantly under the Biden administration, including a record-setting year in 2023, when the Veterans Health Administration alone hired 61,000 new employees in a year. 61,000 new employees. Both VHA and Veterans Benefits Administration had been staffing up to accommodate the flood of veterans newly eligible for care and benefits under the PACT Act. Though hiring slowed in fiscal 2024, the forthcoming cuts will be sweeping and spare no part of the department, Cyrick said. I'm thinking that's how you say his name. He set an initial target of VA staffing level in fiscal 2019, or 399,000 workers. VA currently employs 482,000 staff and 459,000 full-time workers, meaning VA plans to slash its workforce upwards of 83,000 individuals. Representative Takano, the top Democrat on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, said VA's plan was not just dangerous, but an outright betrayal of veterans. He noted that VA had grown its workforce to meet new demands. Gutting VA staffing to pre-PACT Act levels will cripple the very system that millions of veterans rely on, denying them access to life-saving health care, claims processing, and education benefits they've earned, Takano said. VA will hold an information gathering meeting on its reorganization and RIF efforts next week, and per the Trump administration guidance, will deliver full plans to the Office of Personnel Management and the Office of Management and Budget by April 14th. The department will review the plans from individual components in May and release its reorganization plan in June. VA will stand up an implementation team, the Reorganization Implementation Cell, made of human resources and operations security and preparedness staff, though most administrations and offices will have high-level staff participating. VA liaisons to DOGE will be integrated into the VA RIC operations, ensuring positive and continuous communication with the administration through all phases of the operations, Cyrick said. The secretary for the VA, Doug Collins, will chair the initial meeting Wednesday to spearhead the reorganization and workforce reduction efforts. He or a designee will lead the department's executive review group as the plans move forward. The Trump administration has faced significant pushback from Democratic lawmakers and veteran service organizations over its inclusion of both VA and veterans across government in its recent firing efforts. Alina Habba, a White House advisor, came under fire on Tuesday after she said the administration will care for veterans in the right way, but perhaps they're not fit to have a job at the moment. So that was her comment about the layoffs, right? So whatever, thousand people get laid off, however many, right? 100 of those 1,000 were veterans. She's saying, well, maybe they just weren't fit to have that job at this moment. So, this is a messy time. All right, moving on. If VA is also looking to reduce its footprint, it will likely run into significant resistance. The Biden administration put forward a plan in 2022 that would have closed or consolidated more than 200 facilities, but a bipartisan group of lawmakers spiked that effort. Takano said VA's recognition of the reorganization and workforce plans will create chaos across every aspect of VA, including by delaying benefits, straining claims processing, and making it nearly impossible for student veterans to get assistance they need. He vowed that he and his colleagues would fight back on the proposal. The American people in Congress will not stand by while VA is hollowed out, leaving veterans to suffer the consequences, Takano said. Senator Richard Blumenthal, Takano's counterpart in the Senate, said the plan indicated the Trump administration planned to push for more privatization care for veterans and would risk rolling back the progress made under the PACT Act. It's shameful. It's a shameful betrayal, and veterans will pay the price for their unforgivable corruption, incompetence, and immorality, Blumenthal said. All right, so that concludes it. Now, look, 83,000 is a huge number. What sort of collateral effects will we see? And I know we're at the end, and many people dropped off already by now, but my thought here is, look, again, I don't work at the VA. I don't know. Here's the problem. The problem with brick and mortar VHA, Health Administration, is veterans move, right? So veterans are moving, have been moving. The generations of today, the veterans of today, the younger veterans of today are more apt to move more now than ever before, right? We are not in the 1960s any longer, where you bought your house, you stayed in your house for 40, 50 years, and that was it. People are buying and moving and changing counties, changing states, moving into different parts of the country where VA is or isn't. And what happens is as you have people leaving certain areas, well, now you have a VA facility that's not being fully utilized in some cases, right? In other cases, you might have a VA that's being fully utilized. And either one of those situations could cause problems, right? You have too many people going to a VA, well, now you have long wait times because so many people are going. You don't have enough people going to a VA. You don't have doctors there because you never hired for any anymore. And so you don't have enough doctors to meet the smaller demand because there's not as many doctors there. And so you have delays there too. Maybe you have a doctor that works in some small clinic in the middle of nowhere, and they're there not every day, right? And they're trying to service those folks. So, of course, community care is going to come into the picture, and it's going to be a blend of where you get your services, how you get your health care. Is it going to be at your local provider, hospital, whatever, or is it going to be at the VA? I don't know. Curious to see what's going to happen here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.